Proxy Table Gaming fans. I am Hyper G. He is L6s.
Hello.
I know, it was very downcast hello, wasn't it? And then I realised I've got no reason to be downcast. It's battle report time.
It's battle report time, baby.
It really is. And that's a happy time. Happy.
Especially when we're talking about beast herds.
Yay! Beast herd. Oh, Vermin Swarms.
Against the Vermin Swarms. Now, yeah,
Who's still playing Vermin Swarms? They're even less popular than Saurians right now.
I know.
That's not true.
Yeah. I did have my reservations going into it. I don't play much against Vermin Swarms. I don't know how they play really. But it was against new opponent John T, and we chatted for 5 minutes, and I already knew I was going to have a good time. So despite
Vermin Swarms.
Despite Vermin Swarms stigma, I will say, because
a
lot of it was lifted in this battle. I've got to say.
Good.
So. This is my list, as we know.
Yes, we do know it. Yep.
2 lots of Minotaurs, 3 lots of Giants, a free Forest, yeah baby, yeah. And Kruger, I should say. Honourable mention. The Vermin Swarms has 2 priests, both on sacred platforms, one on a pulpit, one on a bell. A ruinous dictator list, this basically changes the list somewhat in that things can be unstable. And unbreakable.
It's definitely a rule for call, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. I will say as a caveat, this is before the update, literally just before it. So there are, I think, in fact, the dictator himself even has changed.
Right. Okay.
So this may be a...
But this tournament was before the update, wasn't it? So,
this was, yeah. So it's, and it was literally the week before. So this is the last of what happened. So just as I'm getting used to it, it'll change again. Blood for Legate, Brute. Then we've got 3 lots of 50. 1 black for 2 Legionnaires, 1 unit of 11 Fetis Brutes. Ooh, big unit.
Punchy.
And then on top of that, 1 unit of 40 Disciples with 2 Scorcher Ordnance.
They've sort of disappeared from Vermin lists, haven't they, the Disciples?
Yeah, a little bit. I know until today.
Monks and Disciples kind of merged in the Vermin book, didn't they? Because everyone was playing the light troops, plague troops before the new book. And then I don't think they were really taken much in this iteration. Good to see them again. Yeah,
so I mean, just off the bat, over 200 models to try and go through. Not too shooty, so I'm happy about that.
Is it 2 cannons? Scorcher Ordnance?
Yeah, I think they're cannons. I can't remember what they are. They didn't do too much in this.
Spoiler.
Which is a thing. But the things I'm worried about are the Flaming Standard on the Plague Disciples, because obviously that hinders my Healing Waters ability and some of the BSB. Otherwise, we kind of... It's just numbers. It's just not the numbers game. Obviously, with the minus, the halving combat res up to 10 as well. The Fetis Brutes were an interesting one. I didn't know how that would necessarily go. Although I do know that if I charge, I think I'm at the same time as them. There's something like that, or something of the like. So it's not that great. With my Minos, because really got a bit go before them. But interested to try it out and see what the beast could do against these guys. We rolled for sides, and it was the V-shaped deployment. He picked the center, obviously, because he's Vermin, and wasn't sure he could fit in one of those other corners.
Yeah, I'm confused. Was this? No. Yeah, no, I was getting confused between rounds. Carry on.
Yeah. This is how he deployed. So he basically dropped for first, I think. It was ability to. Dropped first, as is, with his Plague Disciples and, I think, Scream Pulpit on the right side of this. Facing outwards so that I couldn't get around, basically. So from his left to right, he's got Fetis Brutes, followed by one of the legionnaires, followed by with a scorch it ordnance behind. Then another legionnaire with the bell and the dictator behind. Then he's got the
Black Fur veterans.
Black Furs with the scorch it ordnance behind, and then finally the last one, Plague Disciples with a pulpit in.
I got ya.
Names and such. So I deployed thusly, thinking I could spread out, or I could just go for one side and put my whole army, except Kruger, on this whole right side.
Where's Kruger? Oh, there he is.
Over next to that number 5 over there.
Yeah.
It's just don't worry about it. That is in terms of the terrain, we've got a forest right over there. We've got a impassable over on the top left of this, which I'm thinking I could go either side of and keep quite protected. And his job is basically to shoot at the dictator and go for the ordnance, scorch it ordnance. That's his whole role. Let's see what he can do. And then I kind of just decided to go full pelt.
Everything over
there. I also have another forest, which was great, in addition to my forest. So I thought I'd deploy like this, go for... I don't know who went first, actually. I've got a feeling that I went first.
You usually do.
Yeah. But I'm only saying that because I've got my mongrel raiders in front of my chariot.
You have.
And I think the thought process was, well, put my forest as high up as possible to help negate with steadfast and such like that, and then just run away with that unit because I'm druidism. So all of my stuff would be able to be...
He's in range of the forest. Yeah.
Would be in range of the forest and just stay over this side. I think that was my plan. So I've got a feeling I go first. But yeah, otherwise I've got Mongol Raiders, Chariots, and Gargoyles. Then on the hill I've got my BSB unit of Minotaurs with the Restus Chariot just behind, 3 Giants, and then my 6 Minotaur unit behind them. Thinking just to go up, and I'm thinking my Giants are pretty good here. Auto hitting is nice with the stomp as well. It's pretty nice.
Absolutely,
as well.
Lots of infantry to squish.
Yeah, so seeing what I can do there, and let's go. It was my turn first. I'm actually going to move us to the bottom left. It never happens, but I'm going to move us because all of it's going to happen on this top right.
Okay. Your Giants have got on with it. That's
first
with the
things
Vanguard,
first.
I imagine.
First things first, Kruger goes on the left. He moves up, out of line of sight. He's going to shoot some rats for now and then see where he is.
With bolt thrower goodness, Hawthorn Curse.
Yep. Can't be charged. He's all good. Then, as you say, Giants using their Vanguard and March move right up like so. Idea is to chaff them, chaff the big units as much as possible, but to allow them only a minimum amount to actually charge in and get me.
Attack you. Yeah.
My thought here was that then they'll do lots of wounds to me, but not enough to actually kill me, which is the perfect amount.
Yeah. Although they do have a decent combat res to potentially break you, don't they?
They do, but I'm thinking they'll go first. They'll do loads of wounds to me. I'll then have my auto hit rages wounding on 2s, stomps wounding on 2s. So I'm like, I could get 10, 11 wounds fairly comfortably, actually, with that.
Yeah.
So, which would be down to 5 or 6. If he does 2 or 3 wounds to me, then we're about the same. I've got my BSB in range. It could happen. And worst case scenario, he breaks me, catches me, overruns, and then has all of the Minotaurs to charge.
Yeah.
So, didn't mind it too much. My second giant isn't chaffing in the middle of those 3. But it's just has got a range on the Scorch It Ordnance as well, early doors. Otherwise, moved up as much as I dared with my Minotaurs into both forests. Again, thinking if anything goes wrong, then they're in a forest. So happy days. Restus has the little throughway, and the mongrels begin their march home because that's what they're going to be doing. I'm out of line of sight of the guys in the middle. With the bell, apart from the chariots who offer a 6/6 to him.
Okay.
Thinking, I hope he goes for it. fails it, and
Doesn't
then
get
just
it.
stumbles forward. Yeah,
Yeah, it's always the way with the baited charge, isn't it? You're like, I'll
yeah,
give it to you, but don't make it.
yeah, absolutely. You make it, you win. But yeah, so those mongrels will have to be running a lot further then. But yeah, that was the plan really. Showing the chuffing game.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your big brother one and making sure you haven't left a flank charge to it, because that would be a different kind of chaff.
Yeah. The Centaur Chieftain has a pop, and I don't think maybe does. I think he does 3 wounds actually. Oh, there you go, 3 wounds. So happy days.
Yeah.
Over here, you're exactly right.
Oh, I didn't want to be right.
I was ever so hasty and so confident that we measured
You were
it, and
chaffing a corner.
It was enough to get Tanker over to have a look at.
Okay,
I'll say that. So it wasn't an
yeah.
obvious flank, and he just said, "Look, it's just ever so slight." What actually happened was, because there's 2 on the left, and or as we're looking at it, on the
3
right,
on the
and 3
right,
on the left. I think that threw me a bit. That because it isn't the middle
the
of the
center
chariot.
is a bit different. Yeah.
And he's now in the flank, which
some beautiful effects on these platforms, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, they're really nicely painted army. This was.
Yeah, that's not quite the same deal as chaffing corner,
no,
is it? When you get everything attacking your flank,
you
might be dead before he strikes. But he is a big brother, so he's got a few wounds.
Yeah, so. And this is showing it. It's over half of the chariot, but not over half of the unit.
The unit, yeah, sure.
So double check your chaff, guys.
Yeah.
And this is how it ended up. It's not the end of the world, because I do have my monitors sat right behind them.
Oh, of course.
So if there's any way you can
that giant holds,
survive,
yeah.
We're not actually in a bad place, but I mean, it's unlikely. He gets Twisted FG on this. I actually let this off so that I stop everything else in terms of combat buffs, I think, or at least have a chance to. Although he does get wheel turns off on these guys, which is the ones that are going to be in with my giant.
Did he not charge that giant?
No, he didn't, but I don't know why. There was a reason. Anyway, he does a few wounds. I think this is the Scorch It Ordnance. Done 5 wounds to me between the 2.
Yeah, that's all right.
And over here, he does 7 out of 8 wounds.
By the skin of his big brother teeth.
Yes. I do a bunch to him, but still, because of the flank and the charge and everything, and the sheer amount of wounds, me dropping the wounds, he makes me run.
He does make you run. I was going to say
I run off the board. Yes, I think I needed like a 5 or something. It wasn't massive,
unpassable.
But yeah, it was. But I didn't pass it anyway. But he tried his best, and he got some wounds off, so that's always useful. He turns around like so. Yeah. Over here, I declare lots of charges. I think he just moved with his guys in case I charged him. And because he's got wheel turns off, I don't really want to be going in, because the whole point is that I'm wounded on 2s. And wheel turns kind of stops that entirely. So I charge with my giant through to the Scorched Ordnance. Needed a 3. The other giant bypasses this unit of Blood Furs to go into the Disciples with my Minotaurs.
I like that.
Again, hoping to minimise. They're still going ahead of the giant, I think, so they'll do a couple of wounds to him. But obviously after all the impact hits, so I'm happy with that. And not really wanting or knowing what to do. In fact, actually, I charged my chariots into this unit that have just marched up here.
Yeah.
I think it's
Where are they
flags.
headed? It is capture the flags.
I don't know. Although I think it was to beta charge. Although I was quite happy to beta charge, because if you look at the guys behind the rat ogres, they are kind of chaffed themselves by them.
Yeah.
There would be a bit of moving around and things, but if I could do enough to maybe keep them there and keep them in place, but not too many wounds to allow them to get through, then we're pretty happy. with that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So all of them get in, apart from the 2 giants who both needed 3 on dice. I'm not kidding. I rolled 2 double ones in a row for my charges, not getting into the discordance and not helping out with the Minotaurs. Now, the only saving grace of this is it did kind of chaff my Minotaurs to the point where I couldn't maximise the rats.
Okay.
So
yeah, I did wonder why you didn't go quite near the giant, but yeah.
Yeah, we're fully on us, but not fully on them.
Yeah, sure.
However,
yeah, that's not ideal.
That was like, what the hell? I think I also charged the Razor Test Chariot in as well, but I needed a 6 and you can get it. So
yeah, he was only really providing the charge buff to the Minotaurs, wasn't he? So.
He was, yeah. These guys come on, and this is the first and last
Shall
picture
not be
you'll
mentioned.
see of them.
Yes.
Hashtag capture the flags.
Yeah, definitely.
The Mongol raiders go like this so that nothing can see them. I'm behind a hill, and Druidism can still work.
Mm-hmm. See your other ambushers have come on as well, just in the water.
No, they haven't come on.
Oh, they're just hiding.
They're just there, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
That was to differentiate them from the other guys. In Capture the Flags, I wouldn't put them there.
Well, I mean, it was quite ambitious, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I think you don't really need throwing weapons to shoot that unit that you're already in combat with the chariots with, so yeah.
No. Otherwise, I move up the gargoyles and the Minotaurs like so.
Yeah.
I get a +1 armor distracting, hoping to keep them alive as much as possible. And I get Blackwind token on these guys, and he fails to dispel as well. It was on a 5 because I'm in the forest,
right?
And he got 4 on 3 dice. So there you go. It's just to give a bit of agility
coming around. Yeah.
In case something charges, so that I definitely go first.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, I do. I think I do 1 wound to the ordnance with Kruger.
Okay.
Continue. He's actually facing away from me.
I was going to say, yeah.
I think for the purpose of ambushes.
Sure.
So I use the opportunity to come right up and start shooting.
Yeah.
Over here, this is, I think, after combat. There's a lot of stuff dead. So all those things
a lot
that
of empty spaces. Pushed
back are actually dead rather than taking them off. So I do like 15 wounds, I think it is. 8, 16, maybe even 20 wounds, which obviously gets halved and stuff. He only does 2 to me. But he holds on stubborn or is unbreakable.
Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not updated with the rules.
Yeah. It's one of the things. I think he crumbles a little bit as well, and this is after combat. I'm pretty happy.
Of course, because he's got the dictator, isn't he? He's unstable and blackjacks.
So he's left with like 6 or 7 rats, and I've got a full complement, so I'm pretty happy there. Over here, he charges into my giant hill. Of course.
Yeah. And he'll get a full chunk of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and goes and kills him.
Yeah, of course.
Over here, that's odd. Did he do that in his? Because that's my.
Did you run away? Did you flee?
No, because this is still my turn. Maybe it's just out of order. Maybe those 2 are out of order. This is just showing. I do a bunch of wounds in here.
Not a lot,
but yeah, he holds, but doesn't turn around. Isn't able to turn around, which is like massive. Really.
Okay.
This is on to the second round of combat, and he does a decent amount of wounds to me. Like surprise, I just like failed. Yeah. Then I go and kill his unit, but of course his 6 units is only 3 combat res, and I've got a banner. It means he then wins actually combat res, to the point where he's not, because he's only got the pulpit there, so he's not stubborn or anything like that, or bodyguard or unstable.
But you still need to actually kill it.
But yeah, so we hang around, thankfully, and we go on to my turn. So that was pretty much his whole turn was Twisted Effigy. I didn't take a picture off on my Druidism mage. Charging and killing the giant, and then doing that to the Minotaurs and surprising me. And I think I needed a 7 rerollable, and thankfully It wasn't a repeat of turn 2 of game 2.
No. Yeah.
So Krugar goes in here. That's an auto charge into the one he's already wounded to get his Hawthorn curse back, I'm sure.
Yep.
A very blurry giant auto charge because he failed first time.
Yeah, if he only needed a 3 last time and he moved 1 forward. I'm thinking that's an auto charge this time.
It is, yeah. So they both
unless the cannon moved back, but yeah.
They both get in, kill the Scorch It ordnance, and also my Minotaurs go to town on his pulpit.
Of course.
Probably stupidly, I didn't attack it before, and this time
if it was
all that was left,
yeah.
then I did that, and as well, it wouldn't be halved for combat res on him. So
right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, perhaps because I massively overkilled the 6 rats and just wanted the unit down for the capture the flags scenario. It kind of nearly severed me.
You were probably reeling from losing 2 minos, though, to be fair.
So, yeah, for sure. Because I still had the distracting off, so even with less, they did more wounds. But yeah, I reform like so to be outline of sight, and it's onto his turn. So he charges. So last time he couldn't charge in because of A, how it was on this side, and B, because of the unit in the middle that didn't charge. He couldn't wheel round. Over here, he charges into the flank, and don't worry, he didn't roll a double one. He is auto in regardless. Not ideal for them, but they've kind of done their job in keeping the big rats back and out of the game. They get in like that, and that's not, as you say, not a pretty sight for the
Grotto boys might have a job with that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. They really are not very good off the charge. I will say that, regardless of anything they're up against. They really don't have many attacks afterwards. But yeah, this is his remaining moves. Just turns to face the Minotaurs. Those Minotaurs on the hill are actually on the hill. And not just falling down
repeatedly.
Dead. Yeah. I do think I've only got potentially 2 left, or there's something about that.
You've got the hill and 3 others.
Yeah,
you've gone 4 wide.
So, yes, correct. Just so that I could go back as far as possible. Really, my plan now that I've got the capture of flag is just to keep everything alive. Really.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of that plan, they turn up and come here.
Yeah.
Could
the dictator? I mean, I suppose the dictator's giving out discipline, right? I was just
and the unstable
dictator
stuff,
not just run and kill both those units, but yeah.
It's surprisingly fragile as well. I think it's only a distracting and 5 up. I can't remember in terms of what it has. So yeah, this is one of the last pictures basically because I decide to do exactly what I've said. Run away.
Just back off.
Yeah. So this is so I don't even swift reform. I just sort of like wheel and move up here with the Minotaurs. This is actually a kind of like 2 turns ahead because my Minotaurs aren't where the tray is. They are where they are, where the guy behind the hill is.
Yeah.
And we go, you know what? I'm going to run away. I'm probably going to give him a chaff to you. To allow you
slow you down,
allow me to run away and keep my scoring stuff available. So that's probably it. So we decide that the only thing of note is that I have 2 rounds of shooting with Krugar to Hawthorn curse him, and nothing happens at all.
No, I mean he's got the the whacker blitzball thing going there with that dictator, hasn't he? I love that.
But brilliant. So we were like, well, are there any rolls left? Because you're going to get the giant, you're going to get the gargoyles. I was like, there might be one. How many wounds do you have? I was like, if I hit twice and do 3 wounds both, but it didn't. Don't worry.
Did you still roll the second one even when you failed the first?
I rolled them both at the same time because I was like, I need them both. They both hit.
Did he charge into the giant and kill the giant? I'm guessing.
Yes. So this is a picture showing basically
that's the black furs, isn't it? So they're not going to mess around.
Yeah. I've stopped his black furs because this would be his turn 5, and then he's got 1 turn after this. So I've basically stopped his black furs and rats actually coming forward to do anything. He said he wouldn't risk the unit just out of shot. and the Screaming Bell is just too far to do anything, especially going through that wood.
Yeah.
Which ended up being a 13-7 objective win to the beasts.
Sure.
Yeah. Basically, at the end of the end of my turn 5, which is the top of the 5, I basically said, well, I think I'm gonna, looking at it, I've got a unit of 3 and a unit of 4 Minos. Probably not enough to get through full units of Vermin.
No. Yeah.
I think if I just keep them safe, to the point where you can't get them. I mean, we took, because we had loads of time left, we did take a lot of time to discuss if it was to make sure we weren't assuming that I could get away as well. Because I was like, well, my plan would be to get away. I've still got the Rd4 Chariot. Still technically got the Mongrels if I wanted to slow you down for the turn 6. Can I get to a point? I can get to a point that I'm behind the hill. So can I stop you basically getting to the hill? Was essentially
the hill's screening you.
We tried a few different things. He said, to be honest, the only things he'd be looking at were the Bloodfurs and the Bloodfurs and the Fetus Brutes. And I said, well, those are the ones I was going to chaff. So that makes sense. On both parts, it wouldn't have been able to turn and go for the ambushed units either. Because they were so far in the corner. So we tried a few things. We had a chat, had a good laugh, had a drink, and
bada bing, bada bong.
Bada bing, bada bong. Shook hands, and that was the end. And I'll just move us over so for viewers that can see the thing. It was basically 10-10. I just edged it on victory points because of how big that unit was. But yeah, a relatively fun game. It could have been even better, I think, if I didn't mess up the giant. Chaffing.
And the double ones
and the double one, because
that would have stood you in good stead.
Continue doing wounds to my Minotaurs for that one extra turn.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas they would have been dead if the giant gets in as well. So
yeah. So, but no, otherwise, pretty pretty in and out sort of job.
Comment, Tommy.
Yep.
Great.
But it was really fun. John T was my opponent. I'd not played him before, so it was really good to. I'd not met him actually before, so it was good to chat to him and have a chat and get a good game against Vermin. A nice friendly game against Vermin swarms. Not many people say that.
No, they do not. Cool. So yeah, give us your comments on that. Like, share, subscribe, do all that lot. Massive thank you to everyone who's watched and enjoyed our updates videos. Obviously, we did those about a week ago in terms of recording timelines, and so many comments, so many likes, and a few new subscribers to the channel as well. It's been our biggest subscriber hit in a long time. Because obviously, like everyone in the world who plays Ninth Age is now subscribed to us now. Not everyone. Come on, those who are holding out. Come on,
don't we?
Come on.
We wish.
But yeah, loads of new subscribers, loads of likes, loads of shares as well. I'm really interested to see that you guys are sharing our videos with other people, because that's awesome. Because I mean, that shows that you want other people to view our channel, and we're really grateful for you guys doing that. Because there's only so much that we can do to grow the channel and grow the community. And you guys are helping us with that, and responding to the comments is amazing. It really is.
It's really good, and having the comments in the first place really helps us, because we do a lot of work in the background and stuff as well. So it really helps motivate us to do more. So,
absolutely,
certainly motivated for 2024. So that's
definitely
thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, and with that said, I guess we're on to my round 4.
Your round 4, baby.
To see if I get another new opponent.
Yeah, the run continues.
What points are you on, by the way, after 4 rounds?
So I had a 19 previously. So added on to this, that makes 32. And then I had a 8 and a 7. So plus another 15, 47. Yeah. So I needed decent. 3 points to get my 50.
To hit 50 points. Yeah. Okay, cool. There we go. Right, let's see how I go round 4. Coming up next.
Otherwise, guys, see you later.